Welcome to the Four Fires Podcast, where we talk about winning in all four of the essential areas of life.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Four Fires Podcast. I'm here today with my friend Charlie Metcalf, and we're going to be talking about one of the events that we do called the Four Fires Fitness Challenge. But I'm titling this podcast The Decision to Change because Charlie has a really cool story that we're going to talk about. So, Charlie, welcome to the podcast. Why don't you give us a little intro about yourself?
Yeah, my name's Charlie Metcalf. I'm from LaGrange, Georgia. Been married coming up on 25 years. So I've got 3 children. I've got 2 in college and a freshman, soon to be sophomore in high school. I pastor here in LaGrange and just came here in the early 90s and loved the town, loved the people, loved the church, and said, hey, if I ever get the chance, love to be back there, and God worked that out. So in 2005, moved to LaGrange and been here ever since.
So, like I mentioned, one of the events that the Four Fires Tribe does is our Four Fires Fitness Challenges, and that's our event where we are... One, it's fun. It's for community building. We bring men and some women and some kids together, but mostly it's men, to bring them together to meet each other because there's a lot of guys in this area that are trying to live a 4-dimensional lifestyle. So it's a time for us to meet each other and then even invite people that have never heard about the Four Fires, so we get to share it with them. And then we use the Army Combat Fitness Test to measure and put a number on our overall physical health. So that's measuring strength and endurance. So correct me if I'm wrong, Charlie, you've participated in 3 of our Four Fires Fitness Challenges,
3
right?
separate ones.
3
Looking
separate
at my
ones.
phone right now to pull up the scorecards.
Yeah. So, okay, you've done 3, and your first one was spring of 2024?
That's correct.
So you did 2 last year, and you did this past one in March 2025. So you scored a score. I'll let you go through and tell it, but you scored a score that I feel like you weren't happy with the first time. And then over the course of 6 months, you added 92 points to your overall score. I think that's accurate. So, yeah, walk us through your numbers and just tell us the story about your whole fitness and physical fire journey over the last year and a half.
Yeah, I considered myself pretty physically fit. Like, I'd worked out in the past, and I wasn't extremely overweight. And so when this was going on, I was like, well, I'm not going to do great at it, but I want to set a baseline. Like, It'd be nice to come in and just have a baseline, and knowing that coming in. So there was 0 training for the specific events, and came in. And when I did those events, I failed 2 of them. So the sprint drag carry, failing standard, 53, and then the 2-mile run was also a fail. And so some of the other ones were, kind of that 89, 83, 87, and then a 70 range there for, I guess, maybe the push-ups there, or maybe the plank. So, but it was like, I came in, did those. Some of them I was like, oh, that's cool. And then others I was like, man, that's horrendous. Mm-hmm. And so, like, no one warned me, but the sprint drag carry, I ended up falling 2 or 3 times, which is normal, but no one told me that was normal. So I'm the first one doing it, and then I get done after falling. And it's so weird because my body locked up, my legs, the blood flow, whatever. Like, my brain's telling myself to do some hops sideways, and it's like, I'm not doing that, and it just rolls over. And I was like, that's weird, let me get up and do it again, and fell over again. And I was like, okay, let me take a breath here and then get going. And so I did it. I was able to complete the event, but it was past the time limit.
Yeah, I want to point out that the score for what you have to do, so for the sprint drag carry, it's do the activity as fast as you can. So it's broken up by age and by gender. So male and female don't have to hit the same numbers, and then Charlie and I don't have to hit the same numbers because I'm much younger than Charlie. We're not going to say the age, but like Charlie doesn't have to finish that as fast as I do. So just want everybody to know that. So at the next one that we do in September, if you're interested in coming and you're 60 years old, don't be intimidated because the score is graduated and you can compete with the numbers that you should be able to hit at 60.
And we had 60-year-old guys there. The first one passing it. So their max is just, their max point value is different than ours.
That's
Some
right.
of them are the same or whatever. But
Sorry, continue.
No, it's all graded out. So so after I get done falling, rolling over, embarrassing myself twice, Jeff is like, "Oh yeah, I forgot to warn you that could happen." So I wasn't the first one to ever do that. And this past time, you took a fall, but You still max that out, I think. I mean, you were awesome.
I think I missed it by like 2 seconds. But I was pretty happy with that, even though, given that I fell down and had to barrel roll because my legs were totally fatigued.
For me, it lit a fire under me to say, hey, my physical is not where I want it to be. I want to be able to come out to this event, and I want to be able to, at the bare minimum, pass all 6 of these and have an overall passing score. So that was kind of baseline goal. And then I specifically trained for it, not in doing the events, but I switched up my weightlifting routine to build some more muscular endurance, because I feel like the Army Combat Fitness Test does a great job of that overall gauge of health. We're like, yes, some of it is heavy lifting, but there's also a run, but there's also the sprint, drag, carry that you have to have muscular endurance to do. And so
cardiovascular too.
Yeah, it was fun to go and then kind of pass all of those that next time, and then improve another 20 points between my second and third time. So it's one of those events that I just appreciate doing. I love that Four Fires puts it on, that it's a free event that people can show up for. And so I've invited a lot of my friends. It's been fun being out there, and then had my 2 sons there this past time. And so that's great kind of father-son bonding event. And I mean, just everyone's cheering for everybody. You're competing against yourself, and everyone there wants to see everyone else succeed. And so it's a great...
Welcome back to the Four Fires podcast. If you enjoy listening to this podcast, please go down and leave us a 5-star rating and share this episode with a friend. It really helps us get all of this Four Fires content to more men so that we can accomplish our mission of building an army of 4-dimensional men. Thanks so much. Live intentionally, and I hope you enjoy the show.
Great atmosphere and just fun time. And even when I'm falling over, I'm still getting cheered on and, laughing. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. So, but there's definitely encouragement from everybody to excel and do your best. So it's a great.
So I really want to point out that I think the most impressive and admirable thing is that your decision to change something. So you did the first one and you were like you said, it was kind of like a wake-up call, or it lit a fire under your butt. You're like, whoa, like, man,
I thought it was okay.
Not as fit as I thought.
Yeah, definitely.
So really a question I wanted to ask you was, what made you come back?
The second time? Well, I knew it was going to happen. I had specifically trained for it, and so I wanted to improve in those areas. And people are like, oh, what score are you going for? And I'm like, well, I've got this score in my head, but I want to pass every category, so let's just start there. And then once I do that, then I want to, keep kind of moving up these ranks. And so now I look at it and I'm like, hey, I can max out 2 or 3 of these maybe, and let me go for that. And So
what did it look like from you finished that first one? Did you immediately go make a workout plan that you followed for the next 6 months? I just want for anyone who maybe is intimidated by a test like this, or they don't want to go out and embarrass themselves, or they have come out and they feel like they embarrassed themselves, and they're not coming back to the next one because of shame or guilt. They're like, man, that was terrible. I'm never going back. What is the plan and the path that you took that helped you come back and increase your score by 92 points?
Yeah, so I didn't hire a personal trainer. I didn't go out and specifically start on, okay, let me do these 6 events and see how high I can go. But I was coming off of a 30-day ruck, so another fantastic program that's going to help you get into better physical shape and light some fires under all 4 of those areas. Along with that, the Strong app really helped. And so that was something that I picked up from the ruck and started using the Strong app. And if you're not familiar with it, like, you log exactly what exercises you're doing, you log the weight and the reps. And so next time you come back and do that same workout again, you're like, all right, well, let me start out at 125. And then I did it 12 reps last time, and so I should be able to do 130 for 12 reps. And so you can really, I think it helps that, because you go in the gym, it's more of like, oh, how do I feel today? Or like, I feel strong. And it's like, no, these are the numbers. This is what I did last time. I should be able to do it this time. And so just being consistent in that workout, and it was weightlifting 3 times a week. And then the month before, I started doing 2-mile runs on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
The month before this past one?
The Army Combat Fitness. Whenever, and this next time I'll do the same thing. Like, I'll be specific about starting those 2-mile runs. Yeah. And some people are like, oh, you need to train further if you want to run faster and whatever. And I'm like, all I have to do is do 2 miles. So if I could start that 2-mile and get it where, Because I believe the first time I probably ran 2 or 3 laps and then walked a lap and then ran a lap and walked a lap or whatever. And this past Army Combat Fitness, I didn't have to stop, didn't need to. And that's one of the things is when you're looking at those times for this is the 2-mile run time, you're like, oh, that's not bad. It's not bad if you're coming out with fresh legs.
Yeah.
If you've done the deadlift or the hex bar lift and you've done the sprint drag carry, like you can be gassed and your legs can be kind of toasted. I was really pleased to not slow down, not stop, and did pretty well on that 2-mile run this time.
So really what I heard you say was with the Strong app, you were measuring how often you were working out and looking at the weight you were doing in the reps. And one of the things we say is you can't manage what you don't measure. So I think what helped you is you were measuring it, so then you could look back over the last 30 days during that 6-month period and know whether you were winning or not, or whether you were on track and directionally correct to being better 6 months later.
Yeah, 100%. And it measures, like you said, like you can go back and look at the calendar. So I could just pull up the last couple months and like, hey, you were consistent working out 3 times a week for 6 months. And you're like, wow, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And then you can go through individual workouts and it will tell you, hey, this is a PR. This is, where you started last time. It was like game changing for me. Like it made a difference. It was a very powerful tool that I didn't know was out there and didn't want to walk around with a little pencil and pad and paper, writing stuff down. So, and all of it's archived in my phone. I could pull it up at any time. So it's pretty neat.
Definitely. I definitely recommend the Strong app and other tools like that to measure both how often we're working out, and I use my FitnessPal to track my calories and my macronutrients at different stages. I don't do it every day, every year, but like right now I'm actually in a phase or a season where I am tracking my calories because I'm just trying to be mindful, because I feel like the beginning of this year I was just like doing whatever I wanted, and then I started to notice like I'm gaining a pound or two. I need to measure it again because I feel like I'm not eating that much, but I'm noticing that I'm getting a little chubby on the stomach there. So I've been tracking my calories. MyFitnessPal is another good one for that.
App, and it's the exact same thing.
Deal,
You're putting in calories, and you could go through and look at protein, goals and targets for each of those meals, so you can break down the macros of it. But it's like you don't have to do it all the time, but using it for a week or for a month or whatever, like it teaches you because you're looking at it and you're like, well, wait a minute, I can have a whole bunch of strawberries or I can have one Kit Kat bar. Like there's
an awareness thing.
So it unintentionally it's teaching you to eat.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you get the honor of, thank you for tuning in to the Four Fires podcast. I want to take just a second to let you know about one of the resources that the Four Fires tribe offers to help you take control of your life, take ownership, and build some authentic community to become more four-dimensional. It's called the 30-Day Ruck. It's a 30-day challenge to live four-dimensionally. You commit to weekly tasks, abstaining from a few things, and having a Zoom call with your facilitator, that's me, and the other men that are going through the ruck with you. It's a great way to encourage each other, meet some new guys that are trying to live four-dimensionally, and really hold ourselves accountable and commit to something, and then keep our commitment to ourselves, to becoming a four-dimensional man. Visit our website, fourfires.com, to see more about the 30-Day Ruck and how you can sign up and reserve your spot today. Thanks, and let's get back to the episode. Leading people as a pastor here in LaGrange, how do you communicate the importance of the physical fire to men, and really, like, what does Scripture say about it? Like, why is it important?
Yeah, I guess I look at it from a stewardship angle. Like, God has gifted us this body. We only get one of them. And, like, what do you want to do with it? And then how long do you want your legacy impact to last? And so sometimes a motivating factor could be young kids in the household, and I want to be able to go out in the playground and lift them up above me. And other times it's like, hey, I want to do that with my grandkids. So I bring it back to the stewardship paradigm a lot with that. So, and you could go through and kind of look at scriptures where it's like, hey, your body's a temple and we should take care of it. But yeah, I kind of zoom out with that. And I feel like a lot of men know whether they're in shape or not. And sometimes it's a source of pain or shame. And at the same time, I'm like, everyone starts somewhere. And to start that journey, I'm like, is important. And so if you can do something to have that, we'll talk about kind of awareness, ownership, and discipline. And it's like you may have a general awareness of like, oh, I'm not eating healthy or I'm overweight or whatever. But to not only be aware, but to take ownership of it. Like, I'm the one that's in charge. I control if I get up and go to the gym or not. I control what I stick in my mouth. I'm the one making that decision, and then having the discipline to do it over a longer period of time. So that's how I tend to think about that physical fire. And a lot of times, guys, you get up, you look in the mirror, and either you're standing tall and proud, and or you're like, man, I could use some work here.
Yeah, I love that. The question on the back of the 4 Fire small group book is, are you stewarding your life well?
There you go.
I mean, that's the whole theme, I think, of the 4 Fires. Is these are 4 areas of life that God blesses us with. Are we managing them well? Are we stewarding them well? So I think, like you said, stewardship, and then also I kind of heard you talk about just like, because I want a quality life. I don't want to have a life where I feel terrible and I don't have energy, and one day I can't lift my grandkid up.
Yeah. And it's compounding interest. So if you're doing it in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, like it's going to make your 60s, 70s so much easier versus like it's compounding interest the other way. That if I'm putting on, it's only 2 pounds, it's only 5 pounds heavier than I was. I'm like, you do that for a decade, you're going to be 50 pounds overweight. And then all of a sudden it's a lot harder to, kind of reverse that curve. So
yeah,
it's definitely something I think about it's interesting, some of the blessings, even in the book of Proverbs, we'll talk about the quality and the quantity of life, that like a blessing of having a longer life and then a better quality of the life that we are living. And the physical fitness, that physical fire is going to affects the quality of our life.
Yeah.
From everything, sleep, recovery, nutrition, all that stuff. It has an impact.
Yeah. It also, I think, helps us be a better leader. Like I feel like I'm a better husband. I feel like I'm going to be a better father. I can be a better friend if I'm leading by example in all the areas, and that includes physical health.
100% on that. And to me, it's not a status symbol that you can buy. Like I go out, I'm like, oh, here's I got a brand new red Corvette. Look at me, I'm cool. And I can buy a fancy watch, and I got, whatever. But the discipline to have a healthy body is something, it's like an earned status level versus something that can be purchased.
Yeah. So I actually feel like I've seen your confidence and your drive to lead people increase as just the little bit of time that I've known you. I think I'm correlating it to as you've built your physical fire. I really think that I've seen your confidence and your drive to lead people increase as you've built your physical fire. So do you think being strong and healthy is necessary for men to be the husbands, fathers, and friends that God created us to be, and why?
Yeah, I mean, I look at the role of a father, and I'm like, you have that kind of protect and provide aspect. And so, like, at the bare minimum, I have to be able to do that stuff. How am I going to protect my family from harm, or even, like, perceived harm, where I feel like, hopefully I'm not a target for somebody. If they're looking, they're like, oh, that guy's pretty fit. We'll wait for another one to come along. So that protector thing, or just being able to lift, carry your kids, like even they hurt themselves on their bike and skin their knee, like you're there and you can pick them up and carry them home, and it's not a big deal. And then just basic family life activities, going for walks and hikes and, kayaking and whatever. And it's like you miss out on all that if your physical fire's low. So that, yeah. And then the providing, and I think work and all that stuff, that's like, hey, we need to have physical healthy bodies to be able to do the work that we do.
Hey guys, it's Jeff. Thanks for watching this episode of the 4 Fires podcast. If you're interested in becoming more 4-dimensional, the best way, hands down, for you to do that is to start a 4 Fires small group. Real life change always happens when we build authentic community and we're challenging each other, just like the Bible says, as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. If you want encouragement, if you want accountability, if you want deeper friendships with some men in your life, a 4 Fire small group is your next step. Visit our website to see more information, watch the session 1 video to see if it really resonates with you and if it's something that you want to lead a group of men through. Fill out the application, and I would love to talk with you and provide you and the men in your group with all of the resources and the tools that you need to be equipped and empowered to start this small group and to become the 4-dimensional man that God created you to be. I look forward to hearing from you, and until then, let's get back to the episode.
Fuel the other fire of our professional fire. So if you want to increase the craft and the cash, like that has to be there as well. So kind of a foundational building block for us. But yeah, I think that they are connected, and to be able to say, hey, increasing that physical fitness may bleed into these other areas that you may have increased confidence when it comes to leading other people. So, and then to me, as far as that father role, I'm always like, hey, you are the primary teacher of your children when it comes to the relationship with God. Like, hey, this is what walking with Jesus looks like on a daily basis. And so I want to be able to model that for them. And as the father, I'm like, you are, God has entrusted you. We talk about God giving and being a good steward of our life. I'm like, God has gifted you these children. And so for me, it's, my 3 kids, and I'm like, my proudest moment as a dad, like to see my son score a goal or to kick a field goal, to see my daughter dance. But I'm like, their baptism was something special for me. It's like they've committed their lives to Christ. They want to be able to honor him with their lives. And now that 2 of them are in college, they're kind of living their faith on their own. And so like, did what I do, did it stick, And so they're there, and it's like they both plugged into churches. They're both serving in those churches in different ways. And so like as a father, I'm like, man, and talk to my wife, Carrie, I'm like, we did something right, like something stuck. So it's good, again, compounding to see some of that fruit later. And so we made community and church important growing up for our kids, and we feel like that investment has paid off now that we're seeing fruit from that now that they're in college.
That's great. That is phenomenal. That's really it. So, Charlie, thanks so much for sharing a little bit of your story with the physical fire and the 4 Fires fitness challenges that we do. So for anybody listening, if you're interested and you live anywhere near LaGrange, Georgia, or Sharpsburg, Georgia, those are our 2 locations where we host these events. And the next 4 Fires Fitness Challenge is in LaGrange on September 6th, 2025. And then the 2 weekends later, September 20th, in Sharpsburg, Georgia, at East Coweta High School's football field this fall. So you can visit our website to see all of our event dates and reserve your ticket to let us know you're coming. And then you can click the link in the description to see our website, or just go to Google and search the 4 Fires Tribe, and our website will pop up. So, Charlie, thank you so much for your time. And is there any final thought you want to share with the audience?
No, I mean, I just appreciate you and the ministry and what you do. It's this event specifically, like it's easy and fun and nice and free, where I'm like, anyone can come out and participate and cheer each other on. So it's an encouraging event for, like you said, mostly men, but we've got women out there competing as well, and fun to see that. So
sweet. All right, guys. Well, go live intentionally, and we'll catch you on the next episode of the 4 Fires podcast.